my co-educators. Today we are going to look at Google Docs. In the tutorial of today, we will work with Google Docs and we'll see the elementary view of Google Docs, and we will see how Google Docs can make our life easier when it comes to teaching and making materials for the classroom. Google Docs Mobile is the application that we are going to be giving consideration to. However, we have Google Doc on our computers like desktops and laptops too. But with Google Doc Mobile, you can go about creating your classroom materials on the go, and it makes life a whole lot easier. To start with, make sure you have downloaded Google Docs on your device and open Google Docs. My own Google Docs is about opening, and when it is fully opened, you will see that I have quite a number of document files that I have created, and there are quite lots of them. Anytime you open your Google Docs, make sure that you are opening the Google Docs with the proper email that is linked to your Google Classroom. If you are not sure which email you have opened Google Docs with, at the upper right side of your screen, you will see your picture or the first alphabet of your email address. Select that to see which account you are opening the Google Doc with. If you have quite a number of email accounts that has been registered with your mobile device, you see all of them listed out. The one that is opened with Google Doc will be the one listed above. In my own case, I have Oluwole Oyebaju, woleetics@gmail.com. If there were to be other Google accounts, they will be listed at the bottom. If any other Google account is the right account that you want to use to open your Google Doc, select it and it will be automatically opened for your Google Doc. Google Doc has 3 lines at the upper left side of your screen, and that is the menu. When you tap those 3 lines, you will see quite a number of menu where you can see your recent files, shared files, starred files, offline files, your deleted files, notifications, settings, and so on and so forth. I'm going to swipe this away and I'm going to go straight into Google Docs. For Google Docs, to create a Google Doc file, select the Add button, which is the plus sign at the bottom right side of your screen. Once you select it, Google Doc will give you the option of to open the doc with a template or with a new document. As you've always known, our sample have always used new documents. Select new document. When you select new document and you want to ask yourself, what do I want to create? As a class teacher, you want to create materials for the classroom, such materials as lesson notes. As a student, you want to create assignments that you are going to submit into the class. Now, this is Google Doc right in front of us. Very easy to use. The designers have made it to look very user-friendly, and then you can key into it directly. Look above and you will see the first button to your left at the upper part of your screen is like a mark sign. It means I am done with my work. Let me finish the work. The second button is an arrow facing towards the left. It means undo the last action. The third button, an arrow facing to my right side, means redo the last action that has been undone. Then there's a button here in A and some lines in front of the capital letter A. It means show me more buttons to use to format my work. The plus sign is used to add things into your Google Doc file, like images, links, comments, and so on and so forth. The fourth button there is a comments button, while the last button there, 3 dots, is a short menu that you use to work in your Google Docs. At the bottom, just right above the keyboard, is certain format buttons that you use to format your work, like B for bold. You want to bold your work. You want a particular section of the words you've typed to be bold. I for italics, to slant some parts of your work for whatever reason you need that for. U for underline, A and a black line underneath it to change the colors of your text that you've typed, and um, the next button will be the button for alignment. You want to align your work to be, your text to be to the left, to the center, or to the right. So without much ado, let us dive straight into working with Google Docs. Here is Google Docs before us. In the lessons we've done in the past, with Google Docs, you can add certain things to make your work really intuitive, a great learning tool for your students eventually. Such things are: number one, you can add texts, which is going to be the text that is written in your lesson notes. And number two, you can add images. It's very important that you add images to your text. The reason is because when you add images to your text, you end up having um, a material that students can learn a lot from, not just make their notes from, but also see images to help them learn even better than before. So it becomes paramount that you add images. Afterwards, you can add comments. Now, comments is a very interesting part of the whole thing we're going to do. Um, we're going to work with all these things later on. But comments is a highlighted section of your text. You want to highlight some words that you, the class teacher, deem ambiguous, some words that you think your students should know better, some words that you think your students should make sure they have an understanding of if they are to read and understand what you want to provide for them in class. For instance, you have a word in your lesson notes called anti-establishmentarianism. Anti-establishmentarianism might be an ambiguous word for your primary class students, your primary class pupils, or your secondary class students. You want to make a comment for anti-establishmentarianism such that when the student sees the word, he can tap it and read more about anti-establishmentarianism before he continues to read through the materials that you have created in the class. It becomes important for you to add comments. Number four thing is to add links. Links. What type of links can we add? We can add links to websites. We can add links to videos on YouTube. We can add links to audio anywhere on the internet. We can add links to images also anywhere on the internet. So these are the four important things that we are always expected to add into our Google Doc file. This, my friends, my co-educators, is the introduction to Google Docs. The next time we come around, we will create files in Google Docs and we will see how to save our files and how to add text, how to add images, how to add comments, how to add links, and so much more. And then we're going to have fun creating some other things with Google Docs. Thank you very much. Before I go, I would like to go a little bit backwards and display one of the works that some class teachers have done in the past. It's really interesting. It's something that you need to look at before we begin to do our work. This is some of the works of some of the class teachers in the past, and it is quite interesting. I'm trying to scroll through to a particular teacher's work, and I really want you to see what the class teacher have done. So just give me a little bit of minutes. Let me scroll through to see the class teacher's work. Okay, this is something that a class teacher has done. He really did a lot of good job in creating this material for his class. Under civic education, he created a topic called political participation, and you can see these are texts for the students to read through. He did the text. They can make their notes from there. You can see a comment here on the right under the subtopic. So number 1 point there says voting during elections. I can select voting during elections to read the comments that the teacher has created for voting during elections. See, the comment has come up. People can participate by going out to cast votes on the days of election as long as they have their voter's card. This is what the teacher has done. And the student reads through this, and it's through with reading, he can take these comments away and continue doing his work. You can see that the teacher has added pictures, let me use the word images, to help the student understand better what voting is and what voting means. He has added links. Underneath the image here is click here, and then there's a link in front of it, voting in elections. The link becomes very important for the student because he can select the link and read more about voting during the elections. And like I've said earlier, the link can be a link to a video on YouTube. It can be a link to any website anywhere. It can be a link to any image anywhere on the internet. It can be a link to any image somewhere on the internet. The second point he placed under the subtopic is belonging to or supporting a political party, and he made that a comment too. So therefore, you can tap the comment and read a little bit more about belonging to stroke supporting a political party. He supported it with an image, and then at the bottom of the image he supported it with a link and an image also. He did that for every other point that he noted here. You can see point number 4 has its own image and links. Point number 5 has its own image and links. In fact, point number 5 here says observatory political participation. He created a link to a video. After that, he then placed some more text for the student. He thought the students will look at the word apathy and not understand it. Therefore, he created a comment for it. Let me tap on apathy and see the comment come for apathy. Lack of interest and desire. Oh, that's what apathy means. The student then gets to understand what these things are. At the bottom, he created a link for more videos on the topic. This is a complete material that a class teacher has created for his students. If the class teacher sends this material into the class, the student has everything they need to learn the topic political participation and have a great understanding of what the teacher is talking about. If the class teacher wants to teach a topic like this next week and he sends this topic into the class today and he tells the student to study before he comes into the class, by the time the teacher steps into the class, if he is not careful, the students will know so much about the topic political participation even than him. Why? They've spent a long time writing out their notes, looking through comments to understand some words, selecting links to go to websites to study more, selecting links to go to videos on YouTube to watch videos on the topic that the class teacher has prepared for him. And the beautiful part of the whole thing is that this work is just a job that the teacher has taken from his lesson notes, and it is according to the standard of the school that the teacher teaches. What other great job can you get from this? Take note. When we come back again, we begin to look at how to create text, how to add images, how to add comments to our text, how to create links to websites, and so on and so forth. Thank you.